Hello everyone, we are group number 79. Members are Reshma Nelson, Neha Sherin, Lucas Taratil Thomas, and me, Afsar. Today we're gonna present UK government's industry. When we come to the introduction part, as we all know that the government market is one of the largest industries in the UK, which contributes a significant portion to the nation's economy. The overall value of the industry is increasing day by day, which is reported to reach market revenue of 65.63 million GDP by 2026. And also, it has been found that although the revenue contributed by the industry is increasing, the overall rate of increase is slowing down. Additionally, the companies and organizations in this industry face certain challenges in terms of global business environment and changing market trends. In this regard, the main objective of the study is to elucidate how multinational corporations in this industry manage these challenges. And also, the clothing and apparel market can be considered highly saturated, and organizations are constantly looking forward to developing the best measures that they can take to satisfy the needs of the customers while providing them with the utmost amount of convenience. Furthermore, it can be said that the players existing in the industry range from luxury to mass level producers. Organizations such as CNA, H&M, Zara, Levi's, Adidas, Nike, Old Navy, Ralph Lauren, Victoria's Secret, and others can be considered key players in the clothing and apparel market on a global level. And also, after nearly 2 years of disruption, the global fashion industry is once again finding its feet. Companies are adapting to new consumer priorities, and digital is providing a nexus for growth. Still, the industry faces significant challenges amid supply chain disruption, patchy demand, and persistent pressure on the bottom line. With the majority of the companies struggling to turning a profit, growth will be priority in the year ahead. And also, the fashion industry posted a 20% decline in revenues in 2019 to 20 as earning before interest, taxes, amortization margins declined by 3.4 percentage points to 6.8%. As the pandemic continued to run its course, the performance inequalities that have become a challenge over recent years were more in evidence than ever. And a record 69% of companies were value destroyed in 2020, according to the latest reading of McKinsey Global Fashion Index, compared with 61% in 2019 and just 28% in 2011. About 7% of companies left in the market entirely either due to financial distress or because they were bought by rivals. And when we come to the identification of the main features of the industry, government industry, we can see that the value of the apparel sector is dynamically increased despite the fact that selling value decreased quite a bit during the advent of COVID pandemic time. This is because of the unexpected economic downturn that has affected the markets all across the world. And also, one of the next key features that we can see that the non-regional markets are expanding at a quicker rate than the regional and local markets, which are experiencing a decline as a result of their restricted commercial operations. So this is my part. Now Lucas will explain the remaining portion. Thank you.
Thank you, Afsan. Let's we can discuss about the main features of the garment industry. The first one is the United Kingdom has historically been a world leader in the production of clothing. The British Isles relied heavily on the wool trade, which represented approximately 80% of exports. The garment sector in the UK is responsible for contributing 26 billion to the country's economy. It is also responsible for employing 8 lakh individuals in the country. The UK garments industry is the most important and successful commercial industry in the country. The value of the garment industry in the UK has increased by approximately 12% in 2021. This sector of the economy is a destination for one of the most recognizable brands in the world. This industry generates a significant amount of revenue for the economy of the UK. Well-known brands like Primark, Next are situated in the UK garments industry. Large online clothing retailers such as ASOS also present in the UK garments industry. The recent COVID-19 pandemic has contributed to an increase in online purchasing for garments. This trend has been amplified by nationwide lockdowns and the closure of physical business. By the year 2025, online sales of clothing would account for 60% garments industry in the UK. The remaining portion will be taken by Reshma.
Thank you, Luca. Thank you for your presentation. Now, my topic is about identification of the challenges faced by the MNC arising from the main features of this industry. The garment sector in the United Kingdom relies heavily on human labor. It is vulnerable to factors such as the introduction of new taxes on imports and exports. Additionally, the industry faces challenges to the need for environmentally friendly clothing. Counterfeiting is one of the major challenges faced by UK garments industry. MNC face these challenges when expanding into foreign markets. The procedures in the garment industry require a significant investment of money at the outset. In addition to putting money into the production of its product line, the company must also spend money on other areas of its business. In addition, it has to store inventories before it can access the product's potential for success in the market. Due to a lack of insight into this intricate network, a great deal of inefficiency is generated, which in the end causes commodities to be supplied to the market later than expected. It has been found that the process of adjusting of new requirements posed by customers presents difficulties for clothing manufacturers in the UK. Consumers now have the ability to expect more from their apparel as a result of the advent of fast fashion and the accessibility of online shopping platforms. In this respect, some of the world's largest corporations are having problems adjusting their business models to satisfy the needs of their customers for diversity and inclusion in their product and services. In this industry, and communicate the key players operating in the industry and the competition level existing in the industry, after which the trends associated with the said industry would be critically evaluated. On completion of the same, the microeconomic challenges as well as the microeconomic challenges would be presented. The strategic choices adopted by multinational corporations in international business would be presented. Finally, the challenges associated with operations in the global clothing and garments industry would be discussed. Mobility of the materials and the finalized goods between countries and procurement from the area and shipping to the other area can be considered as some of the main microeconomic challenges. And the competition level is the clothing and garment industry can be deemed to be high overall. The bargaining power of the buyers in the clothing and garment industry is has a result of a high number of choices. The bargaining power of the suppliers can be considered between medium and low, as various suppliers can offer executive exclusive products needed to produce luxury environments. There exists a high threat of new entrants as well as substitution as the result of the saturation in the industry. The number of competitors in the clothing and garment industry, both on national levels and a global level, is considerably high, and there exists an obligative nature to the market. Thank you. Now, Neha will take the remaining part.
Thank you, Rishma. Thank you for your presentation. Now, I'm going to outline the strategies deployed by MNCs and how these assist them to manage the global business environment in the garment industry. In order to address the environmental concerns prevailing in the UK garments industry, some of the companies have integrated sustainable materials in the production of apparel, which is less harmful to the environment. Additionally, companies and organizations utilize data and analytics and production intelligence to determine the market demand in order to avoid overproduction. It has also been found that some companies encourage customers to share or rent clothing instead of buying and discarding them after use. When counterfeiting, the products some of the companies and organizations have integrated unique designs and features which are difficult to imitate, such as watermark, hologram, etc. In order to prevent counterfeiting, some of the companies have integrated their trademark into the design of the apparel. Companies and organizations in the apparel industry utilize software programs which allow them to detect if someone else is using their image or designs without permission. This allows them to take immediate action for preventing counterfeiting. Programs such as ERP are used by garment companies to automate the production process in order to address supply chain inefficiencies and distribution issues. In addition, this lessens the need for human labor and minimizes the possibility of error, which in turn lowers the cost of operation and boosts overall productivity. In the apparel industry have begun to use mass customization in order to accommodate the changing preferences of consumers. This strategy provides a number of different alternatives for customers to select and choose from. In addition, some companies or retailers have begun providing clients with the option of full customization, which give consumers complete control over every part of the apparel they purchase. Multinational organizations have to make sure that they abide by certain strategic choices while operating in the global clothing and garment industry. Making sure that the organization is operating in line with the cultural practices existing in a nation is must. But organizations must be allied with their value stream while operating in the garment industry. Maintaining values and standards such as inclusion and diversity and investing in corporate social responsibility are measures that multinational corporations take in order to create shared value in the industry. International laws and national regulations are certain strategic choices that organizations have to abide while operating internationally. With the culture of nations that the multinational corporations operate in is key to the success of the organizations. Assessing the geopolitical needs and the needs by demography is an absolute must, and must be incorporated into the activity list of an organization looking to excel in the industry. Digital marketing is one of the other strategies that organizations must combine with, considering that the modern market is characterized by the intense use of the same. The power of social media and influencers is to be assured by organizations in order to promote their brand and create positive goodwill in the highly saturated market. Now we are going to conclude our study. So in this study, we had discussed and provided a comprehensive discussion regarding the UK garments industry. The challenges faced by the industry have been discussed along with strategies implemented by the companies to overcome these challenges. So to summarize this, it can be said that the clothing and garment industry is one of the most saturated industries in the global at present. Moreover, the industry is highly lucrative and valued at around $1.5 trillion back in 2021. Some of the key players in the industry include Nike, Puma, Victoria's Secret, H&M, etc. The industry is highly attractive and highly saturated at the same time, a result of which multinational corporations must adopt strategies that allow them to differentiate themselves from one another. So these are the references we used for our study. Thank you. Thank you, my teammates, for the wonderful presentation.